Happy Sunday, everybody. Grateful that you found some time to join us today. And yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day. I have to say, North Vancouver has had the most sunniest days that I can remember in all the years I've lived here. It's been amazing. And hello, Sherry. How are you? Norma Jean, how are you doing, Miss Punisher?
Just witnessing, I suppose you would say, just being in observable mode and just seeing what energies are presenting themselves, from the collective level, but for the most part, importantly, from the level of self, just asking myself a lot of very vitally and profound questions of who I am, what is my world, and what am I doing to improve mine to help to understand how to improve the one in which we exist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Norma Jean's very good at focus. I have to say, I kudos to you on a task and get it done. Yeah. I had a beautiful walk outside today and just really reminded me how lucky I am to be here, to live in this space where I get to go and play in the woods daily if I choose, or go to the ocean and hang out at the ocean and just really observe. And I have to say, the past couple days, I love dogs. I love cats too, but when you're out and about and just the interaction with each dog and how they perform or respond, and it's quite beautiful. And then of course there's little BB, my mom's dog, always getting jelly belly. So yeah. And so as we enter this Sunday fun day, as we're actually wrapping it up, I have a sound bath tonight, which is exciting. We've got 22 souls joining us there. It's always a profound event and welcome. So anybody's in Vancouver, North Vancouver, we do these pretty much every 2 weeks or on the new moon and full moon on average. And that's at Kalena Movement Studio. And so, yeah, some really wonderful souls there. We have a private event coming up on February 7th and possibly another a little later than that around energy. And speaking of energy, I just really wanted to tap into the parade of planets. And I can definitely feel energies. I can feel things are a little more intense per se, activated. I just tried to have a napadation and that was like a full no-go. You're right. You ain't napping right now. You may close your eyes and pretend. But just even taking those few minutes and closing your eyes and just connecting with your body and connecting with your heart is always beautiful. Jade and I walked up to the park last night and we sat on the swings and we're swinging and she's like, this swing's uncomfortable. I'm like, yeah, you're not little anymore, are you? And so we also got out the Star app and I was looking for this parade and I was like, yeah, but there's some over here. And then the rest are like way over here. So we don't have the best angle for this alleged parade, but I can certainly feel it. It's been powerful energies all this month and a beautiful opportunity to see what shows up for you. For me, it's been a lot of activations, lots of memories coming up that I completely forgotten about to look at, observe. Yeah, Norma Jean.
The question I ask is, what are these energies doing with one another?
Mm-hmm.
Given where they're positioned in what's taking place in these energies, this is a very pivotal moment, not for the human race, yet it's a pivotal moment for an evolution, that we have planets that are lined up where there's the possibility that these energies are getting together and going, hey, boys and girls, have you seen how it's been down here for the last, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years?
More.
Let's say that what I'm asking is what's the communication between them? That that is helping assist us to have that same communication with self, because you see, they're reflective of what goes on within us.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I sit and I focus to bring forth those profound questions, those very meaningful and deep questions that helps me, like I said, to understand what are the needings, or the needs, or the impressions that I get where alignment can be achieved while this is taking place. So we look at the negative and the positive, energies of, when it really just comes down to it, these energies are a spark and they're a shadow. So what does this mean and represent for me? And in that, what it tells me is that I call my shadow forward, because my shadow is telling me about this place that that my light may be ignorant of. Yet when the shadow brings it to me to let me know, hey, there's some things going on down here that, that Oz dude that's behind that curtain over there, you might want to pay a little more attention to what's going on. And the light goes, oh, that's interesting you say that. Provide me with more. Because you see, the shadow is not your enemy. The shadow only becomes the enemy if you don't recognize that the shadow is being manipulated just as much as the whole of who you are is, because of the programming down here. So this is where, in those deeper, meaningful self conversations, the self-reflection I have about myself in the shadow part of me and my spark coming together and having these conversations and working in tandem and when in unison with one another to help me better understand how to traverse and how to alchemize a lot of what's taking place, of what I see. There are certain levels to this that my heart is a little heavy, given and seeing what is taking place for the collective as a whole. Yet my heart understands that this is a part of the process. This is where humanity is in that place and space of them asking that important question again: who am I in all this? And in that, as I come to understand that, what is my position? What is my role? What is my purpose in helping humanity, either it be assist, guide, lead, and helping them to understand that we're all down here doing the exact same thing. Maybe everyone's doing it at a different level. And there may be even the ones that aren't even at that place. But the beautiful thing about it is that this is what evolution is about. And as I sit and have these conversations with self and with those higher aspects of that clear communication through the heart, my only goal is to continue to become the better world of self, to understand how to begin to be a solution-oriented being in this world.
Absolutely. Yes, beautiful. Kriba agrees. Yeah, and she's also mentioning, I'm finding Jupiter is greeting me most and that I need to tap into it in meditation. Beautiful. Yeah, we've always said, how does it make you feel? I highly suspect at this time on the planet, like two waves of energy, and as they're going along and they start to interact, it gets a little distorted at first, and then they come into unison. I feel we're in that bit of that distortion part. There's a lot of distortion going on out there, and you have the opportunity to, maintain your energy. It's all you can control. You are you. And as we go through this, as unique as your heartbeat and your fingerprint, we have an opportunity to explore ourselves more. Because when you bring the shadows into the light, that is alchemy. That is the beauty of it. And all of us have completely different perspectives. And each perspective is as valuable as another perspective. I know in our membership meetings, it's always such an honor to get to interact with everyone and hear what they see and hear what they feel. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. For when we have a circle of people like that, it's this opportunity to learn from each other And in reality, that's how I believe we will get through these next phases, is honoring our differences. Stop being divided. We all want the same outcome. How we get there is going to be an individual experience. But as these energies are planets, energies, really given a good push right now. Things are speeding up. They're going faster. So can you manage your own energy through these processes and elevate yourself further? I know you can. It always feels a little wiggly before a great change. It's always a little chaos before the calm. Yeah. And today's topic was just to give you that little update. We have a new moon next week. So many may feel like they're purging some stuff out and letting go of some things that need to be let go of. And then we get to rock into, as Shay just said, get into the groove. Absolutely, love. Get into your own groove, do your own dance. And as you raise your vibration and frequency, you will find you attract more like you. And that's what's profoundly beautiful about it. So, bees hang out with bees for a reason. They're at the same vibration and frequency. Yeah, you don't see the flies trying to come in there and hang out with them. Hello, lovely Carmela. Good to see you. Yeah. And it's been coming to mind, I think it started about a month ago, about this Creatrix. I think it happened around Christmas. Creatrix of the Matrix. You are your own creatrix. You could say alchemist. You could say mysticism. You are the one creating that which you desire. And so create consciously for yourself and for others. We certainly don't want to be doing any harm or disservice, but we have a beautiful opportunity right now to start sharing what you got to share. Start being that beacon of light so that others may be attracted to that light and ask you, what are you doing differently? For we're all on our very unique path, as I said. And this creatrix portion is that it's time to be a creatrix. It's time to create and to share your light if you feel called to share your light and be the best version of you. And remembering that there's no mistakes. There's just lessons, experiences, opportunities. You don't quit trying to ride the bike, do you? No, you keep going. You got an analogy for that one, Norma?
I do.
I know.
Well, I mean, your mind is where your reality begins. Your mind. And it's the space where your dreams and ideas and beliefs take root. So, but like anything else, being in a universe, you and I verse, you and I, right here. There's the spark and that's the shadow. You and I. How can we come together to understand the level of the 3D realm and the many other levels that relate to that dimension, as well as the higher aspect of those realms as far as high as they can go, and bring them to the center point where we work in unison to create the universe of the reality of what we say we want to experience. Now we're in a time and period where a lot of things got out of hand, given how things were being, what would be the word here to utilize? Managed down here, governed down here. That now it's go for it. Go for it, because this is your time. This is your time to understand how powerful of a being you really are. And allow that understanding that your mind is very powerful. That's why it's sought after so heavily through propaganda, through narratives, through these stories. to understand that the mind's ability to take in information is just beyond profound and wonderful. But here's the thing, that the mind has to take, or the brain has to take what the mind provides it and sort it. So in that sorting, it takes time to be able to set with information you've taken in and have that reflective moment or moments until that information sets in a way that you understand that information by what the truth of this form is providing you with. Because if anything knows about the experiences of this place, whether you consciously know it just as of yet or not, the body and the DNA that which flows within it, it knows. And this is where that spark and the shadow come together, and they find those keys, or fashion those keys that open those doors to the information that resides within the DNA. So that's my analogy.
Absolutely. I think we all each individually hold our own keys. Hello, Michael, Tamara. Hold on, start with Michael. There we go. Good evening, beautiful souls. Love that Punisher shirt. I have a green one. It is a popular shirt, isn't it, these days?
Mm-hmm.
And Tamara, hi, lovely ladies. I truly appreciate you both, and we look forward to meeting you soon in person. What a true blessing it is to have connected to you two in this beautiful community. Thank you. Absolutely. We're so excited. So coming to Sedona. And Sedona, yeah, I just have to think, I can only imagine how Sedona's vibrating at this point in time, because there's so much energy and vortexes there. And my last trip down there, we did some beautiful hikes. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And Kriba, you are correct. Without us, they can do nothing. Everything is energy. And let's elaborate on this one for a second. So you have to think about it. You know, we get up and right? We go to work, right? We work for the day in exchange for a piece of paper, which has been given value because we believe it's valuable, or it goes into our bank account. And then we spend it on goods and services. I'm seeing, as we move forward, less of a middle person profiting from our energy. And as we move forward, I trust, and I probably shouldn't be saying this live, but I love to barter. I love to barter because that's a direct exchange. Oh, you have something I need, and look, I can do this for you. Great, let's do that. And so it's afforded me some beautiful vacations and experiences in life. My painting company has done wonderful things in that aspect. And I know Adventures for Connection does the same. So it's so exciting to be able to spread the love. Yeah, absolutely. And to the voice is such a cathartic discussion. Yes, absolutely. Always whatever comes through, we're like, oh yeah, we'll talk a bit about this. And then of course it goes on from there always. So how do you see the future of exchange, Norma Jean?
Well, the ability to have a pure energy exchange is profoundly important as far as where the human race and what it says it wants to experience, and get the middleman out of the way. So when we can move to that position, that place where we're moving out of understanding that there's a lot that I see that must be cleared. And that's the understanding of what's the value of something that you hold compared to the value that is being presented as a trade for the value of what you have. So this is where communication and having that ability to have the clear mind and be so present in what is taking place as far as when in exchange is concerned, where when someone expresses the value of something that they hold or something that they are, can we listen with the ears of the heart, knowing that we hold and we are that exact same level of value and worth, just in a different way, given what we're bringing to the table. Whether it be that it's a good, or it be that it's a material thing, or it be an exchange of a service, whether it be that it's a tarot reading for energy healing, or that you provide somebody with some guidance, where someone provides you with the ability to come in and say, well, I can do this for this particular social media app, or it be this, that, or the other. So the value of exchange when it comes to being able to barter is going to be between you and I.
Yeah.
So when I approach this with another, I want to ensure that the clarity of the understanding of the pureness of what we each are conveying to one another, of our value and our worth, is heard. That way we know if that exchange is of a profound essence of what we are wanting to create here for a new earth.
Absolutely. A new way of operating, a new way of sharing, experiencing. Absolutely. Yeah. I can see it, hear it, and feel it in my mind's eye. But it's coming in strong. And we were discussing too the other day about how when one does something good for someone else, or there's an openness and somebody feels heard, which is the ear, which is the heart, when someone feels truly heard and understood. It happened on the walk today. I'm like, oh, you felt heard, you felt seen. And she says, yeah. And I got off the phone and I cried, and I don't know why. I said, because you felt heard and seen, because that allowed you to realize, hey, there is somebody out there that sees me for who I am. And that can be really profoundly healing. And they may not even realize they're doing it. They're just being them. And then when one does this exchange consciously and they're aware, and you're the listener and you're hearing for someone else, you see the gratitude in them. And that gratitude in them makes you feel good, because that's an honest energy exchange. You've already merged energies, per se. You're already sharing. You're already both being cleansed and healed in sharing that exchange. And I think that's why I love dogs so much, because it's always such a beautiful exchange. Yeah, absolutely. I was teaching somebody on a hike yesterday about rubbing their butt. Like that'll make them feel better. They'll settle down. That's their like base root. And so she's like, wow, I never knew that. Thanks for sharing. And so you realize how much people just don't know. They just don't know what they don't know until they know. And then once they know, they can't unknow. Yeah. So quite profound and beautiful. And we met the cutest little guy down at the beach yesterday. Was that yesterday?
Day before.
Day before. He's so cute. Let me see if I can find his picture. I should have pulled it up because he's just adorable.
A little fluff puff is what he was.
He was Havanese, and there he is. I asked him to smile for me, so he smiled for me. Yeah. Havanese
and Pomeranian.
And he is just like, he had his own little strut going on. He's like, oh yeah, I'm so cute, you're gonna love on me. And his owner's like trying to call him, and he's like, oh no, I'm staying with these ladies. Yeah, he was super cute. So, and then we saw all the herons in the tree again, really observing nature. I have a video on TikTok from November about different types of birds and what the spiritual meaning of that bird is when you see them. Every day I get so many messages, and it just kicked in again. So it went quiet for about 3 weeks, and then it kicked up again. It's at like, I don't know, 315,000 views. And so many people are responding with, yeah, so-and-so passed. And, and then this bird shows up, and I'm like, I love hearing this, because it shows me more and more people are interested in the spiritual aspect of a bird, are interacting with their environment, and actually believing that loved ones can communicate with them that way. Given this like even 5 years ago, that would not have hit the way it's hit now. So it's quite profound that people are beginning to understand that even though the person's no longer here, it doesn't mean their energy isn't here. And what are they truly anyway? It's an energy body. Norma Jean?
Yeah, I mean, it's about that connection. It's about understanding what the environment in which you're in is providing you, because that definitely can be one of those that is a mirroring of when you ask specific questions. Sometimes we don't know how it's going to show up, especially if we're not specific in how we define something to show up to us or for us. And that's where our ancestors, or the ones that we hold dear and close to, who, our heart here in this experience and in this existence, if they do transition to whatever next level there is, in whatever that is, in this experience, then our environment with situations like that does hold that potential to provide us with that interaction in ways that, even though it's been spoken to, that I can remember on and off throughout my life, it's more profound now, where what couldn't be heard then is being so spoken about and experienced now. And that's where, I mean, your mind is a universe of infinite possibilities, and you have the chance and opportunity to guide how you experience that. This is your world, and we are just in a space that reflects and gives us that chance and opportunity to experience something in so many meaningful ways. So it's definitely one of those that when we have those experiences, no matter how it's showing up, whether it's through, someone saying something that makes you think of Aunt June that passed away 3 years ago, that just happened to cross your mind 3 days ago, and this individual speaks and says something the exact same way that that Aunt June would. There's Aunt June speaking through another, and the other just is only there just to be a part of an experience. They may not even know what that means to you, but what's going to be profound is you're going to say, oh my God, that the way you expressed that and the way you said that would have been the way that my Aunt June would express that. And thank you for that. Thank you for that, because my heart just skipped a beat, because I just felt like I was speaking with my Aunt June through you.
Yeah, super beautiful. Absolutely. Chrissy, thank you for sharing that. And I am sorry for the transition that you're experiencing, because loss is still, it's not to minimize at all the profound grief, and grief is love that has nowhere to go anymore, right? That missing of that soul that you had beside you in the physical. But, keep talking to him, keep asking. My husband passed last month, and a golden eagle showed up and flew over me and my dog, then sat on a telephone pole. I thanked him for his message. Yes, always having that higher perspective. You got to love eagles for that. And eagles miss their prey 9 times out of 10. And you don't see the eagles sitting there saying, oh, I give up, nothing's working. The eagle just keeps going. And we are a resilient bunch, aren't we? Absolutely. And Michael's sharing, I have several Native friends that talk to their ancestors and spirits for guidance. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's where thanks, Shay. That's where mushrooms can come in and help sometimes, or peyote. Absolutely. In fact, the whole story of the Amarita mushroom is about shamans, and the whole story of how they utilize that. And they had to, because the snow was so heavy around the homes, they had to enter through the chimney, right? But the fire wasn't the way it was set up. It's not the same as it is now. So yeah, it's quite profound. And then of course the reindeer love the mushrooms too, because hey, it raises their consciousness. And so that's how they got involved in the story. And that's one perspective, right? But yeah, shamans have a beautiful way of interacting and playing with often the unseen. Absolutely. And dancing with the divine in a different way. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite profound. And you can dance with your divine or the divine, whatever you would like to choose to call. It's that one that births all, that birthed all of us, that beautiful mother of all that allows us to be here and have this experience. Yeah, it's quite profound. And you see it everywhere. You see it in nature, you see it in others. And yes, Shay, absolutely. Smell and taste connect you too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. One smell just has to hit you. I was behind the mall at a job site and it was like 7 a.m. And I was there 2 days in a row, 7:30, 2 days in a row, setting up a team and then checking on the team. And I'm like, bacon again? Like, it doesn't make me hungry. And just like, well, I'm smelling lots of bacon. And then sometimes you get sense. There was a day I was sitting beside Norma Jean, and all of a sudden we both smelled Blue Lotus. She's like, "Did you put Blue Lotus on?" I'm like, "Nope." But it was definitely Blue Lotus. So interesting what energies are here for that. Yeah. And on that note, Egypt. We spoke with Ashala on Saturday, yesterday, suddenly yesterday. See, even that feels like a month ago. That was yesterday.
Well, I guess it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was Friday. It was Friday because Saturday at 10 we have our meetings. Took a second. Took a second. And we discussed for Egypt, September. So this is how synchronicities happen and you know you're on the right path. Okay, so 2025 is a 9-year. September is the 9-month. We calculated 9 months for us to bring you in a circle to connect with the energies of Egypt prior to the specific goddesses there, because everyone will be connected to one. Everyone spent time in Egypt. Every soul that joins us, 100%. It's just that whole play of that time frame that we did there. But it's also 9 people coming. So we've made room for 9 souls to come. And we're having a lot of fun with that. And I'm thinking we must be leaving on September 9th because, when else would you leave? Did we have another 9 in there? I can't remember.
I can't recall.
Yeah. Hello, Miss Patty. Good to see you. Absolutely. Patty's also coming to Sedona. Very exciting. I came across some peyote buttons in Hawker Mountain while in service. Backpack was much lighter after. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Yeah, they're very, very sacred. For me, all plant medicine is such a gift of nature, and it's being utilized in many different ways right now. And so always enter with caution, play with caution. But if it's there and you find it, it's a gift for you. Absolutely. Yes. Warp speed would be a good word for it. 100%. Yeah. And I'm not complaining about it. It's, it's okay. So what happens next? what's afoot coming up? What am I, what are we all managing with our energy so that we can create anew and create that which we desire? Won't take many of us. Yeah. Won't take many of us to be on a Greece island somewhere, having our own space. I know Norma Jean's all in on that one.
Oh yeah. And what was it that you was just speaking to before that?
9s.
No, after that.
After that?
Mm-hmm.
The sacred plant medicines and gift of nature.
There's something else, but I lost track of that train. So we'll just let that one just go on past the station because it just left. But I mean, it's definitely about understanding that these places, they hold a chance and opportunity for you to have an experience. especially
Yeah.
if you've never been there before, because it was like my time when we went last year. Was it last year?
It
Yeah,
was. It's just over a year ago.
right.
Yeah.
So each time that I went somewhere was different. It was new to me, all new to me, and I didn't really have any expectations. I wanted to see what is this place truly, without any expectations, without any manipulations. I didn't do any research. I didn't go and see. I mean, of course, up to that point, there was, shows and things like that that provide, this is what it is. This is what it seems like.
This is what
This
Egypt's
is
all
exactly
about.
how it's going to feel when you get here. No, 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 no. You're not going to tell me how I'm going to feel about my experience. And it was profound for me. And it was very eye-opening at the same time. Because Egypt, even though it has its beauty and it has its own meaning and things, just Greece just had a more profound,
Free. There's
yeah,
there's a freedom there, and even in the people, and that's
yeah.
what truly shows you the difference. Yeah.
And it was just, I loved Greece because, you know, I loved the small islands. It was so much home to me, I guess, because I was such an introvert, most of my life, where, I'm not like this full wham bam, I'm extroverted now. No, it's that I can feel very comfortable in a place where if I'm out on an island and it's thousands of miles away from what you would call civilization, it doesn't bother me none whatsoever. And have the beautiful views and allow that to be something that becomes such a part of your creative processes, to understand that these places exist and to be able to go and experience them, and even have that ability to come to a place where you're like, I will have a place on Milos.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Milos is one of those great little islands. So yeah, in Egypt, things are a bit more, I don't want to say dense. Cairo definitely is, but we have that beautiful home with the pool and the yard. So we're not in a hotel. You're not in a busy street area. You're just removed so that we could hold a very unique container. And you will be triggered a bit there by the way the people are treated, and maybe even by the way the people treat their land, because that was profound for some. And it's because Egypt has become the entire economy is based on tourism. And so everybody's trying to get something from the tourists, not unlike Mexico was for many, many years and still is in many ways. Yes. And in that, the beauty is there's some really ancient energy there, and there's some really profound stone, and stone holds memory. And so even going into the pyramid and that what they call the tomb, it's not a tomb, it's a sarcophagus that they actually turned and moved. It's supposed to be in the center of the room because the place has resonance. They don't like you to hum and sing in there. But if one just slips the guard some US cash, you seem to get away with it. So you get to play in a new way. And you'll see as you go in, there's a spot where you can stop and cleanse, and it's an adventure getting in. So that whole experience, the first time for me, was very profound. And the second time I kind of knew. So then I was looking for other stuff that I was aware that was there, and can I see it and feel it? And as we went the second time, it became even more profound about, okay, this is the real original stone, and these are all the ones that they've created for the tourists, which I find highly entertaining as I see Instagram people, we went to Egypt and we were here and da 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 in the end, da 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 da. They may have felt the energies, but I just kept looking. I'm like, yeah, but that temple is just, that's all new. So when you get to the granite and you get to the areas where they held that energy and you ask yourself questions, well, there's the pyramid. What's underneath? Same with the Sphinx. So much is underground. What was that video we were watching the other night showing, what country was that? Do you remember? That was an Eastern country, wasn't it?
Turkey?
I think it might have been Turkey, where they had burrowed out. Like it's profound. I looked at it, I'm like, it's like a whole
Yeah.
ant colony under there. They showed a
Mhm.
side profile, and I was like, that's what it's like. Different because it won't be the same creation, but yeah, quite profound what was done with energies. And then underneath the pyramid, there's also that resonance, and then the top used to be a capstone. This is all just indicative of what's going on again within the body, right? Same with the whole Nile. Like there's so much, ebb and tide and weave, and I think there's so much of Egypt even in the USA, right?
Mirror.
Yeah,
Just saying.
right. Yeah, was it the
It's just you
Mississippi?
know what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
The
But
symbology is
we,
there.
right? Yeah. And we look forward to sharing a little here too, as well, from there. Um, one would love to, run with the camera crew and run it live so everyone can join us. We're not quite there yet, nor do I think it would be the same experience. So we really honor the energy of those that are coming and to hold that space, no matter what trip it is. And Vedette's coming through for June, which is great, and probably August and July on Vancouver Island. So reach out if you're in any of these areas and you're interested. So these are all, so the first time I've been like, oh, I can start to plan these things. There was a real, like somebody hanging on to my collar going, not yet, not yet. And then we finally got the go ahead. And so we look forward to sharing more of this with you as it unfolds. And yeah, and what did I say? US. And then, so we have Egypt. And then here's the ideal, right? We all know how the ideal goes. I can't predict what's going to happen in the next 6 months fully because it depends on our collective energies. We are in a collective consciousness. And so the more of us that focus on what we can control and what we can do, the better, because we're going to focus on things that are good and that we would like to see in our reality, so to speak, and to connect with like-minded people so much more. Egypt, then Greece. And I think we're gonna lose Norma in Greece. She's just gonna stay there from the sounds of it. And then Jade's got a real hankering for Japan. I spent 3 months in Japan. And if I look at Jade's astrocartography, she's got 3 lines in Japan, which is quite profound in itself. She's always been into like it, you can just see it in her. She emulates a Japanese style and has studied it and is learning all about it. And there goes a little feather. Guess where that's from. And there's in Japan, when I spent time there, it was with the Japanese ski magazine. I got to go on the fast train. I got to go up skiing because we were doing a photo shoot there. I got to go down to Miyakijima, which is a really beautiful island on the coast. So I got to see quite a bit of it. Never felt safer running around as 2 young single females. It's safe. It feels so safe. People are so helpful. And at the time, my hair was bleach blonde, and that sure garnishes attention over there because there's very few. And I had some of the best Italian food there, and I had some of the best Indian food there, which is interesting. And I'm not afraid to immerse myself somewhere and figure it out. It's just actually thrive on that. I love exploring that way. So I'm in a creation mode again. And you never know who you run into. And the most beautiful souls always show up. And so Japan will be I want to see how Tanya explores a country. And you got to be really uncomfortable not knowing what might happen next. Really comfortable with that experience. But Jade really wants to go, and it's somewhere I'm probably going to go and take her and spend some time. And it may be that she stays there. We're becoming global citizens. That's what I see. Because, there was a bird that a friend of mine saw, and it was a type of seagull, but it was a really big seagull from across the ocean that normally, I think it was Siberian, that was coming to Eastern Canada, and then they showed up also in Western Canada. And I'm like, oh, look, the birds are even like starting to expand. These birds are never seen here. I'm like, borders are going down all over the place and extending further. So as the magnetic pole shifts, I think we'll see more and more of that. Don't you, Norma?
I mean, you know, anything is possible given what it is you're focused on, your intent for the focus, and what it is you want to experience. So, you know, it's the mind is a universe of infinite possibilities, and you hold the brush to your life's canvas.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the only limits that are there are the ones that you choose to believe. So choose courage, choose curiosity, and allow that to be what unlocks the infinite potential of the limitless possibilities that the mind can create for you to experience. And
Yes.
and take that and do it every day, because you see, when you come to that chance and opportunity to take every day and give yourself something that will help you to change how the mind perceives something. Because if there's anything that I've come to understand through my ability to focus, and my intent of what that focus is I don't define what I'm focused on. I do the best I can to work with the mind to help it to not define anything as I'm understanding who I am in all this. Because that's where I begin to recognize and realize how I begin to take full control of how I want to experience this new way of being. So I know I have to undo what's been done in order to bring forth something new in my experience. So as you do this, give yourself something to practice every day where, I mean, even if, man, it can be this just the smallest thing.
Yes.
Even if that's sitting there and cutting up a tomato for salsa, do it with every bit of an intentional focus and be present with it. Stop wanting to go through something so quickly because that's what we were taught. That doesn't mean that's how we should be. Understand that if you sit and you look at and you light what they call a candle, if you sit and you focus on it for 10 minutes a day and give yourself the chance and opportunity to change your mind and how it perceives what it sees, you may be surprised at what you're shown. Do that with sit out in front of a flower. It doesn't matter what it is, but even take it out as far as, okay, we're not defining this. I want it to show me honestly, purely, truly, clearly the experience of what I am sitting here viewing. Show me what you represent in this place so that I know and may know better how to see that for self. And I'm not saying everything in this world is something you can do that with. Yet, if you can do it with something small, you come to understand that no matter how detrimental or how chaotic it may seem that this place can be, it will never touch you. For you have the chance and opportunity to have the ability to stay so present and so focused in your intent to create something new from what we have right now, that as you go along, the journey is not going to, I'm not saying it's not going to be happening. What I'm saying is your journey is not going to bring that into your experience. But don't think that there's not going to be challenges to this, because this is how the universe works in its ability to help us as a being, as a race, to understand our position and role of ultimately what we are capable of doing in a place that is balanced, that is harmonious. because you can't have one experience without the other, because we are in a universe. But see the profound and the beauty and the understanding in it all. And you'll find an unlimited amount of energetic peace that will always provide you with creative, endless possibilities.
Yeah, I'm reminded of Patty's doodling, right? She loves to do those doodles. This is fantastic. There was a video of a woman who took white rice and black rice, put a pile and mixed it together and said, now can you sit here and separate them and put them into little 10 count piles on either side? At first, you're gonna be like, oh, this is kind of fun. I got this. Da, 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 da. And as you go along, it's like, okay, this is getting old. What the fuck am I doing this? And if you can manage, this is what's called breaking that in a way, breaking the habit of the mind. You have to break it. You can do it kindly. Yeah, only you can do this. Nobody can do it for you. To be able to go, no, I'm getting this done. I got to stay focused. And you keep going. Eventually, maybe it takes an hour, you will have a great sense of peace, of just being ever so present. And as the busy mind steps aside a bit and allows you just to be present and sit in that energy, that's when the little intuition and the magic starts to happen. So if you can't sit and meditate, there's another option too. Staring at the candle, staring at a fire. Fires are so good for calming, for comfort, safety. You feel safe around a fire. Yeah. Very warming.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Norma.
It doesn't have to be work, y'all.
No.
It doesn't have to be work. It becomes what you give it meaning of. Just like, and it's something that I'm still working through myself. When I go on these walks with T, given the challenge of what the walk is, I can't focus on the incline. I focus on each step that I take. I focus on not where am I, but where's my foot? What I need to be aware of, because it's very important for me to know what I'm aware of, because you see, I'm either going to expel energy or I'm going to utilize energy. And if I'm focused on what my body is doing, because I care about the mechanics of my body, because there's been multiple times before this that I have done things because I was doing it because it was about, whether it was about the challenge or see what I'm capable of, on that level of when I was young. But now there's more intent to the actions that I'm taking. So where's my feet? What's my next obstacle for me to overcome and move to the next one? Because by the time you hit that peak, no matter where that peak exists, you've made it. And you did it in a period in time where you were so focused on what you were being a part of. And that was you from point A to point B. And that is the journey. That is a journey itself, a journey with the form, a journey with inhabiting the fullness of that experience. So not everything has to be work.
No, in fact, make it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And staring at the winter sky, that opens something. Absolutely. Anything you do with the relaxation and observation that puts you into an active meditation. Don't ask me to repeat that.
Well, a lot of people here's the thing too, is what's amazing is I'm going and just, I got a few things that's just been new coming into my field to utilize and understand and bring forth, even more profound understanding and guidance, is that instead of me calling it mindfulness practices, I I put up some new articles on AFC that's called Mindful of Practice Collective. Because you must be the one to apply the practice fully of bringing yourself aware and conscious and being engaged in that, because this is where we begin to slow down and really be a part of being conscious of what it is we state we want to experience, because we become more clear. We move that space of those programs that have been there for so long. We start moving those out, because even myself today, even though I was being present, I could still hear some of those programming showing up or wanting to show me images. And I'm like, oh, there you are, you little bugger. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you, Shadow, for bringing that forward, because it's what the Shadow does. It'd bring that program forward. Is, hey, this one right here, man, is bothering me. It's that monkey on my shoulder. You want to see what it is? Sure, bring it forward. Oh, there you are. Control, Alt, delete. Because that's being present. That's being present and having a chance and opportunity to say, no more. No more will I be programmed. So you're gone, which gives me the space and place to bring forth my chance and opportunity and the ability to say, I'm worth so much more. I will master this, for this is my purpose. This is my gift. And therein lies the chance and opportunity to begin to really understand the profound level of your ability to take control of the helm of this vessel, this world, and say, it is mine, and I will create it the way I intend to create it, through the focus of understanding that I'm not always going to be able to stay in that present moment and have those, wow, sorry. But
That's
have
okay.
those times where I'm able to give myself the gift of continue to move forward, because the shadow is going to show up. It's because it's going to do that, because that's just the role it plays. It's going to tell you, hey, there's that hill that's over here. I know you're looking at this land, but you see that hill over there. You build that house right here. You might have to worry about drainage coming down. You're like, oh, you're right. Because, Shadow, you've spent a lot more time here, because if there's anything you've come to understand is how the 3D works. Because it was you that was manipulated the most. Thank you, Shadow. Thank you for showing up for me in a moment, in a prime, where you've brought me to this present moment, that even though I see the light and I can see the beauty of this place and what it's going to look like if I build a home, but you taught me to see something that I wasn't able to, because I'm so much into the giddiness and the feeling of the joy of it. But you bring me clarity of staying where I have that reasoning, even in my joy, so that I make clear choices and decisions about my life.
Beautiful. You built the damn house on the hill. You have a nicer view too.
Could wash down. Who knows it? Upstairs, up, down. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, and Shay's saying, yes, happened to me today. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Only you can change what's going on for you. And it's funny because we started, I made a huge batch of bone broth, and we had soup last night. I'll buy it with biscuits, but vegetarian chicken bone broth, homemade biscuits. And tomorrow the goal is to continue with just bone broth, at least for me. I can't speak for Norma Jean. And so today I did a little workout this morning, and I went for a walk, and then I came home and I had to have some fruit, because I was like, my stomach was going bananas.
And this lion, the Leo, this lioness, I'm like, go eat.
I have another good friend of mine who's a Leo, and her name's Tanya too. We used to be roommates in Whistler, and I used to pack snacks with me because I was ready for her because she get really grumpy as soon as she was hungry. So I guess I can understand.
Well, now at least you know how Snickers came up with its ability to be able to, you know, manipulate the Leo in its understanding of that.
Right? I was never a huge Snickers fan. No.
I was for a while, but when
Yeah.
things shifted and changed, and you can taste the difference. That's the one thing I can always depend on was my ability to be able to taste the difference and go, that is not the same.
No.
Something changed.
And I find too, the more you give your body, say, fruit first, it has those natural sugars. And I'm not saying everyone can do fruit first. Everyone's different. I'm witnessing online this vegan, vegetarian, Mediterranean, carnivore. And it's like, but every way is the right way for each individual soul. So you do you. And again, those waves, right, of things, we're in such a division, and I watch the collective in specific pockets, but I just feel mostly, and I'm like, oh, something's up today. And sure enough, something big is blown up out there that everyone's arguing over. Wow, I don't waste my energy arguing about anything. It's like, yeah, it's not getting my energy. That's how they've been getting our energy. Think about it. They're the distractions, the CGI stuff, right? It's getting harder and harder.
Distract.
Yeah.
What is dis? What is track?
Yeah.
Distraction.
Yeah.
And it takes you out of focus of self. And
Absolutely.
once it does that, it sets division within you. Once it sets division within you, there's definitely going to be division in your environment. Yeah. Because once they take you out of your center and imbalance you and divide you, you've worked too hard, you've come too far. Don't let them. Yeah. Don't let them. Stick with you, stay with you. You're important, you're valuable, you're worthy. Take hold of your life. Don't let them win anymore. Who cares? Right now, it's really is just a narrative playing out. That's all it is. I don't care if it's Rumpy Rump or Putin or any of them. They're playing a role. Don't let them take your power. Do not let them take your attention. It's yours. Utilize it. They've had it for way too long. Keep hold of what's yours and say no more. You're not playing this game. I know I'm not. I may see what's going on and what's taking place, given what comes into what is meant for me to see. And that's why my heart is heavy to a level and degree, because I know there's still so many of them that just hasn't hit that point yet. But don't let anything that creates separation within you. But do not dismiss that separation and not see it for what it is either. There's so many lessons to understand from this. Don't let that lesson pass you by. Recognize it and say, oh, I'm being divided here because now I'm in argument with myself. But I want to look at it, and I want to look at it and we'll see. I want to let this shadow tell me everything about this, about what separation truly really is, and help me to understand and discern the difference between what is and what is not, allowing me to separate myself from my purpose.
Absolutely. Well said. Well, and it's true, right? It's true. So do things that bring you joy and light you up. That when you look at it, it makes you smile, no matter how small.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, understand. It's going to take time. You got to be patient with yourself. I'm still working through programs. Stop judging it. Stop letting it take you out of your place of being just the observer. Be that spark that the shadows always needed, because that shadow is you. That shadow is you that's here in this form, and it's saying, look, I'm doing the best I can to get you to understand this, that, and the other, but you keep contradicting me. You're not listening to hear me. You're listening to judge me. Stop. Stop. Come with it with a spark of light and say, shadow, come forward. Show me so that I may understand what it's been like for you. So, but that I may be able to shine the light in a way that brings you out of the darkness. And we have that dance. Do not fool yourself into thinking that there's not going to be some challenges. It takes consistency. It takes the love of self so much to keep coming back and keep pushing through with the energy that you are utilizing to get rid of all this shit. Don't give up on yourself.
Have compassion for yourself.
Don't rely on anyone else. Do you. Just utilize guidance that others provide you with that may give you an understanding of this place that they may know. But do you.
Yeah, challenges aren't punishments.
It's the
Shay
greatest
said,
gift.
this Madonna song, Get Into the Groove. Yeah.
It's the greatest gift.
Absolutely.
It propels you. It propels you so quickly when you just sit with it. Sorry.
No. Fireworks are going off. Can we make the fireworks go off? Yeah, it was doing it the other day. Every time you feel you're leaving your center and, your vibration is not where you want it to be, take a really big, deep breath in with your nose and get into your heart space. Because your heart always knows. And maybe you need to shift some energy, move it around, go for a walk, do some breath work, do some yoga, do some qigong, dance, put a song on, whatever your energy is asking for. Absolutely. We love you guys. Yeah.
I feel like a prophet right now. I'm just saying. It's because I care. It's because I care so much, because I know because I still have it within me, but I also know what I've accomplished, and I'm just, I don't want anybody to give up on themselves, because that's a part of the heart that's going, man, what do I do? How do I say this? What is the message I can convey? Because everybody's out here and they have their story. Everyone has their own story. It doesn't mean it's yours. But can we get to that position in place where we hear another so clear that we listen with the ear of the heart, that we hear the story that helps us to understand something about what we are wanting to understand, and they may bring a piece of it. Mm-hmm. That the beauty of that individual is the fact that they brought the piece of it that you may have been having difficulty understanding. Just know that you are the world. You are. This is your world. You're just in a space and place of the manifest that we get to experience it with one another.
Beautiful.
Stay with you.
Beautiful. I have nothing else to say. Well said, Norma Jean. Well said. Yeah. New song, Soul Sister. Right? There we go. Soul Sister, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Mic drop. There you go. Yeah, we see you, Norma. And we love you. Yeah. Hello, Lisa. Good to see you. We're just buttoning up here, but there will be a replay. And as I'm sitting here chatting with Norma Jean, I'm like getting these messages. So tomorrow, stay tuned for a live meditation Monday that's going to pop out. So I'm going to start doing meditations on Mondays. Yeah. They may be posted earlier, they may be lives. It just depends on what's going on. But I promise one tomorrow. I just can't say what time yet. But it will be lovely to connect and get everyone into that meditation. I know when I guide, that frequency and vibration resonates just the way Norma Jean's voice resonates here as she shares her heart. Yeah. Thank you for that, Norma. That was really beautiful.
Thank you for letting me.
Of course. Anytime. You know you got a unicorn behind your head.
Yes, I know.
And
And 2 shells and a onk.
an onk. Onk.
Onk. It's onky me.
I got a corny joke, but I was gonna, let's leave it. Yeah, we can start with an onky glad.
I'm glad I didn't say piggy.
All right, you guys, we love you so much. Go find, go, laughter is one of the best things that raises your vibration. And the more you raise your vibration, the more your reality shifts. And so, I've got tears coming into my eyes now. All right, we're going to wrap it up here. We love you so much. Have a beautiful night. I'm back.